chapter 3 deals with integers, which you guys did integers. You did this in 6th grade, but you didn't do a lot of absolute value or negative integers. You mostly did positive type things and order of operations. So the first thing we're going to talk about, 3-1, is absolute value. And so let's first define integer, which is any number from the set. This is how you write a number set. They're brackets. And the ... means it goes on forever in either direction, right? So any number from this set of numbers, basically all of our negative and positive counting numbers in either direction. And that's how we write a number set. I'll move it over for you guys. There we go. Question? Can't. Once you start, it goes. All right, so integer is any number from the set. From negative infinity to positive infinity, including 0. Okay, 0 is an integer. And again, whenever you see those little brackets around numbers, that means the number set. At least that's how we say it in math. Okay? And then we have negative integers, which are numbers less than 0. I think you guys know that. You may not have worked with negative integers, but you definitely know what a negative integer is. Any number less than 0. So here's the first example. Write an integer for a temperature 5 degrees below 0. So this is the first one. We'll call it letter A. Write an integer for a temperature 5 degrees below 0. So raise your hand if you think you know how to write that integer. Jamie, how would you write that integer?
-5 degrees.
-5, or just -5 degrees would work too. Very good. -5. Easy, right?
You better see it.
Oh, I'll move it. There we go. Okay, the second one, rainfall of 5 inches. Rainfall of 5 inches. We had a lot of rain on Friday. I don't think it was 5 inches, but probably half an inch. Yeah.
Just 5 inches.
Just 5, yeah. You guys got this? Just 5. Okay. Example 2. You guys did some graphing in the book, right? And the little quick check, I had you graph. So these ones are on a number line. That one was on a coordinate graph, right? But we'll be doing both. So if we graph this set of 4, -6, and 0 on a number line, this is how we graph. And I think you've done this in 6th grade. Maybe not negatives, but have you guys done this before? So you've graphed a negative number? Awesome. So that's all you have to do is just graph them. And here I didn't put in all the little tally marks, and that's okay, the little dashes. You don't have to either, as long as you have them in the right order and somewhat in the right place. I'm going to give you full credit on that. Okay. Now let's talk a bit about absolute value, because we had this in our silent activity today. Some of you knew. Actually, when I was asking you to raise your hands, the first one, only like 2 people got that right. But then when I kept going through, some people were starting to catch on. I could tell you were catching on, right? All right, so absolute value, this is what it means, okay? Numbers that are the same distance from 0 have the same absolute value. Numbers that are the same distance from 0 have the same absolute value. Write that down, and we'll kind of talk about what that means. Okay, so in the first example we had temperature -5 and then we had rainfall of 5. Are they the same distance away from 0? -5 and 5? Yeah, it's 5, right? So that's how we measure distance. We can measure absolute value is distance. Because we never say, oh, we're -5 miles away from home. We never say that, right? It's always in a positive value. So distance will be measured in a positive number, and we use absolute value to measure distance. Okay, so we'll be doing some practicing with that. So numbers that are the same distance from 0 have the same absolute value. Just like -5 and 5 are the same in absolute value. Okay. Example 3, which you guys can see. So the bars, we write the bars. The absolute value of -4 is 4. Easy one, right? Absolute value of -4 is 4. Because -4 is 4 units away from 0. Example 4, we have some calculations here. We have a -5 in absolute value minus a 2. So all you have to do is change the -5 to a 5. The 2 is fine, just subtract it, and you'll get 3. Very simple problem, right? So change your -5 to a +5. The 2 is fine, subtract 2. Now, a common mistake that people make is they try to put a plus sign here because they think, oh, well, you can't have a negative and an absolute value, right? But you can because it's in between the bars. Do you see that? So don't put a plus sign there because then all of a sudden you'll have 7 and you're wrong. Okay?
If they're both negatives.
If they're both negatives, like the -2?
Yes.
If that was a -2, then that'd be a +2 and it'd be the same.
Okay.
Okay, let's look at this one. -6 minus 5, we change the -6 to a +6 since it's in the absolute value, and we just get 1. Any questions so far? Okay. So absolute value is used to measure distance. I underline distance because I want you to think of it like that, which is always a positive number. Absolute value is used to measure distance, which is always a positive number. You can't see it. That would help. There you go. So on a test or a quiz, if it says explain how you know this, and it's an absolute value question, there's your words right there. It's used to measure distance, and distance is always positive. Even if we're going down a mountain, right? Some people think, oh, that's negative, I'm going down. Or underwater, I'm going down, right? If you're scuba diving. But you don't say that I'm going -50 feet. You say I'm going down 50 feet. Get it? So it's still a positive number. Okay, so we're going to do practice in the book. Page 194, 1 through 8, and page 196, 12, 14, and 16.